Hey, welcome to day 18 of the 30-day healing series. This is a series where I give you bite-sized pieces that you can implement into your life so you can heal your trauma. I'm Angela. I'm a trauma healer. I have been healing my own trauma for about 10 years, and I've been helping women heal their trauma for the last 4 years. This topic that we're going to talk about today is more specifically for the stage 2 and stage 3 of healing. If you want to see which stage you're in, go down to the description and take the quiz below. When you take the quiz, you'll get the results, of course, but you'll also get free resources to move you into the next stage of your healing. Now, just because this is specifically for 2 and 3 of healing doesn't mean that stage 1 doesn't need to be aware of this, because you absolutely do. This is going to be so important for you. There is a part of you called that in the online space is real called the good girl part. Okay, this is not to bash on being a good girl. Okay, I say that because it was brought up one time in a comment, and I understand where that person was coming from. But this more specifically is about unhealthy conditioning, feeling like you have to be the good girl in order to survive, making it a coping mechanism. Now, all of us have these tendencies. However, a lot of these tendencies are actually undermining us and our ability to be the person that we want to be. Your goal as a woman, yes, is to feel safe, but it is also to live authentically and be fully yourself. And so in order to do that, you have to really release this unhealthy, conditioned good girl part of you. Now, how do you know if you have this unhealthy good girl conditioned part of you? Is if you struggle with setting boundaries, if you tend to people please, and you do things that you should be doing rather than the things that you desire or want to do, or you live your life based on other people's expectations and opinions and what they will think, and you never allow yourself to get angry, and you always act like a lady. So these are signs that you actually have this conditioned part of you, that she's running the show. And you know that she's running the show because she doesn't want you to be seen. She doesn't want you to be heard. She wants you to just completely fly under the radar. So if you're doing anything to be seen or heard or cause a disruption or rock the boat or doing or saying things that make other people feel uncomfortable, okay, the good girl part does not want that for you. So what she does is she holds you back so that you're not doing anything that makes other people feel uncomfortable. And why does this happen? It's because you've been trained and conditioned to act like this good girl so that you can survive. And what happens is she becomes this survivor identity that you take on so that you can survive your childhood, so that you can survive young adulthood, so that you can survive your work, whatever the case may be. She's actually not who you really are. And I'm not saying that you're not a good girl, whatever, but what I am saying is that it's not truly who you are. So your goal here is to release a lot of this people pleasing and to learn how to set boundaries and be okay with disrupting and speaking up, especially if you're a woman who is in the coaching industry. This is going to be so critical for you. So now that you're aware of this, now that you know that you have this, how do you heal this good girl part? Again, this is something that I do in my integration process in Sovereignty. We specifically heal and integrate the good girl part in a very, very specific way. Okay, I don't know where it left off. I have a phone call, and I hopefully we could just jump back in. Of course, it was a telemarketer. So anyway, in my program Sovereignty, we specifically heal and integrate the good girl part. And we do this so that you can release the constraints that this good girl part of you has you in, and constantly living your life in should and should not, rather than what it is that you desire and want to do. And so we deeply go through this process. And if you're interested in doing that, you can go down to the description. I will leave the link for my hybrid program, Sovereignty, so that we can go through this integration process. Not only do we heal the good girl part, but we also heal your inner child and your abandoned and rejected parts. So again, that if that's something you're interested in, go down and check that out. So what you want to do is the same thing that I mentioned yesterday with the inner child healing. If you didn't see that one, I'll also link that for you below in the description, so check that out. What you're going to do is you're going to get a journal, and you're going to get to know this good girl part of you, so that you can see her and understand her and know that she's there, so that when it's time to speak up, when you have to say things that may potentially rock the boat, she doesn't have power over you, and you can actually have the power and have the conversations that you need to have, and not hold yourself back because you feel like you need to be ladylike, or it's not okay to be disruptive. So this allows you to really take back your power and be in the driving seat. Again, through my Sovereignty program, we completely go through this and heal and integrate this if that's something that you're interested in. But remember, there's nothing wrong per se with being a good girl. There is just about these parts that are unhealthily conditioned that are causing you problems, like not being able to set boundaries or not allowing yourself to be seen or speak up when you need to. So you want to lean in and get to know this good girl part of you so that she is seen and heard. If you want to deeply go through the integration process, check out Sovereignty below. If you want to see which stage of healing that you're in, check out the quiz below, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.